मिलया कदे ना बिछड़े. What is the central theme here? What is the message being given? We always ask the question, and we have discussed it a number of times, can a human fall back into a bird and animal and this and that life cycle again? And we have discussed it that no, the nature does not allow the evolutionary process to reverse. Once you have achieved the human state, you cannot fall back. Now, you can lead the life of a lower level of existence, but physically you would not get back into that life form, because nature is evolutionary in nature, it is not devalued. People will challenge that, will question that to you. How do you know that? Well, we don't. We are not going to claim that we don't. Somebody has come back and shown it. What the Gurbani is saying, once you get there, it doesn't matter where it is. Or if we take a metaphor of, I'm climbing a ladder. As long as I am on the ladder, I have the potential of going a step down or a step up. But what if I reach the roof? Now what? What's the potential now?
You can climb down.
Using the ladder. Right? The purpose of the ladder was to go up. Once I have achieved that up, what's the word here? Milya. Jadon mil gaya. Once you have achieved that,
Then, yeah.
why would you want to fall? You would actually literally have no use for the ladder, you throw it away. Why? I have arrived. The method was for me to get somewhere. The boat was to cross the river. Once I have crossed the river, boat is gone. I don't need it anymore. I'm not going to depend on it anymore. I'm not going to pay attention to it anymore. It's the same process in nature. On a growing scale, once the nature has decided that you deserve the human body form now. Look at that statement. Milya kade na vichade jo milya kartar. Whose decision is this? Ke tusi mil jao. Not because I decided it. Right? This is not my decision. Ke main mil gaya. That decision is kartar da. Now, once he has decided that you, as an entity, needs the human body form for further growth, it will not then pull you back. Because that will be second guessing the first decision. That is why, if you look at the whole creation, I was talking to someone about this the other day also, that when we say you become good, become a good human being, well, what is the sign of a good human? Well, he doesn't lie, he doesn't cheat, he doesn't steal, he's an honest, he's hardworking. Let me bring your attention to a horse. Does a horse have all those qualities or not?
Yes.
He works hard, doesn't cheat, doesn't lie, doesn't take somebody else's thing by force, doesn't kill. All the qualities are visible. Be faithful. Let me point you out to a dog. Is he a faithful animal or not? Why were we chosen to have a human body form if all we are going to do is manifest the qualities that are already there in the animal kingdom? Why have a human form? So, we have been given a freedom of choice. You can decide to live like a good animal or a bad animal. Or, you can decide to live like a god. You can become a Buddha. You can become a Nanak. You can become a Kabir. Choice is yours. So if you are choosing to manifest now, but let's look at the same animal. Let's look at the dog. Dog has a faithfulness, but dog also has greed. Right? I can choose to live a life of a greedy person. More of everything. That's my choice. So, do I need to be a dog to become greedy? No, I can stay in the human body form and be greedy. So there is absolutely no necessity to reverse back the evolutionary process. Because it is not the body that is the regressing, it is the thinking process that's the regressing. So, Gurbani last time hinted to us, Milya kade na vichhade, jo milya karatar. You are there now in some form and you're not going to go back, and you have been given this so that you can mill. You can get there. And understand, dasa ke bandhan katya. The bondage of the body can be absolutely freed up. How? उसने लिए कंडीशन की रखी है, रिक्वायरमेंट की है, दासा. Can you become egoless? Can you become a das? क्या अपना ना ही सिर्फ रामदास रखे है भी दास? Somebody was telling me a joke the other day. Said, some saint was delivering a lecture and a little kid, a naughty one, said, "Sir, what's your name?" Shanti Prasad. And after about, so he went away. After about 5 minutes, he came back again. Sir, what's your name? And he said, probably first time he didn't hear, so he said, Shanti Prasad. So he went away again. Then about 10 minutes later, he again said, "Sir, what's your name?" I said, "I told you already, the name is Shanti Prasad." "Oh, I'm sorry." He went again. When the fourth time he came, he took his shoes off. "How many times am I going to tell you?" And he said, "This is your Shanti Prasad." ना इससे कोई शांति है, ना इससे कोई प्रसाद है, इसको तो जुत्ती है. We may be by name Das. Are we Das? Can we be Das? If we can be, which is a possibility, freedom of choice in a human body form. It is a total conscientious decision by the individual. It cannot be dictated, it cannot be forced upon, it cannot be an expectation, you cannot be shamed into it. You would have to actually willingly choose it. And if you do that, then what happens? Dasa ke bandhan katya. Then this cycle, Sache Sirjanahar, he has made this process. वो जड़ा Sacha है, Sirjanahar, the creative energy, that's his law. You can take advantage of that if you want to. And understand, once you get there, there will be no falling back. You can't come back. That's why those who have been bitten by this bug, you get sick of them because they talk nothing else. They do nothing else. अरे भी हो गया बथेरा होने करा गल सुन ली हुन जान छड़ कुछ होर गल नहीं दुनिया च करने वाली है. Can we talk something else? Can we do something else? But they don't. Why? They just get back. They can't get back. It's now possible to reverse the evolutionary process. We look at them as they've gone mad, right? That's why a mad person and a saint look exactly alike from the outside. We can't make sense what the madman is doing. We can't make sense of what a saint is doing. It's exactly the same from the outside. Inside, the madman has fallen below the consciousness. The saint has gone beyond the consciousness. The qualitative difference is absolutely day and night. But on the surface, they'll appear exactly the same. You would not be able to make sense out of what they do, why they do. So, what is the objective of Gurbani? What was the message last time? Bhula marg payan gun avagun na vichar. Human body form, as it manifests on the planet, for the instrument's survival, it ends up forgetting the message. Because if it doesn't forget the message, survival is at stake. So first the body form has to be strong enough, sturdy enough, mature enough to be able to implement the purpose it came to. So a child has to be selfish. It has no choice. It is survival. As the child grows up and becomes adult, looks back. Now if he continues to be selfish, then he has forgotten why he came. Bhula margapayan. Ki bhule? What have we forgotten? Why did we deserve this body and not the body of a cat, a dog, a cow, a bull, a bird, a fish? Why are you in this? It is that message that's forgotten. It was forgotten when we were born. It was necessary to forget it. But for a duration, so that the vehicle is strong enough, mature enough, to be able to ask that question. Why I'm here? Kabir asked that question when he was 8 years old. Muslims don't need me. Hindus don't need me. Why the hell am I here? Aha. I am here to become one with one. Can somebody show me the way? How to become one with one? And the Brahmgyani of the time, Swami Ramanand, said, yeah, I can show you. The rest is history. But he could not have asked that question at the age of 1, 2 or 3. He first needed to grow up to that level where he could question it. Up to that time, he had to be the user. Use this help, use this help, use this help, because I need that. And then we are from the group of those individuals who, even though grew up, refuse to remember the message. We never ask that question. Why this human body form? What did I do to deserve it? Why wasn't I born a cat? I mean, we see, I think many of us can envy the life of a poodle. He's taken care of better than we are. Have you seen those cats which eat from the crystal? Nobody puts food in front of me in crystal. But we never ask that question. So, Bhula Marg, this is the, remember that, come back. Don't get into the argument of gun and avagun, positive and negative, right and wrong, this and that. Remember the message. Why you here? And then what will happen? You will get to this stage, which is Nanak tis saranagati je sakal ghata adhar. You will then, in true sense, usdi sharan chala jayega. If that happens. Now this was the last message from the hymn 88. Okay. If I remember that message, even today, with this Guru's message, having reviewed it, understood it, internalized it, okay sir, I'm ready. What should I do? Gurbani answers that question right away. Rasna, Sacha, Simeriey, Manatan nirmal hoy. Here is your first process. Rasana. Rasana means jiva, tongue. That's your starting point. Because human body is the only body where the tongue serves two purposes. Every other creation on this earth, bird or sea living or flying or walking on the planet, the tongue is utilized to eat and swallow the food. That's basically it. Human tongue can also be used to speak, to jap, to meditate, go on a bhakti marg. So take that first step, which is Rasna, Sacha, Simeriey. Acha, bhakti karni hai. Look at the sequence of the words. Pehla akhar ki hai? Rasna. Jiva naal shuru kar. Ki kara? Sacha. Simarna. See the sequence? Kisnu simarna hai? Sache. And we have talked about it. See how in different word form the Bani is painting the different picture using different words with the same message again. It doesn't let you get bored. It doesn't repeat itself in the same metaphor, same sequence of words. It comes back with this different sequence of words, but it hammers the same thought. Do not pick a symbol which it is destructible just like you are. Don't pick a mortal symbol for your source of meditation, because they are as indestructible as you are. So what symbol should I pick? Sacha. It is so powerful that you cannot shake the logic away. And we have talked about this, we repeat, if you pick a symbol which is already loaded with stories and the mythology, you are going to get distracted. It will not help you. You must pick which one. Sacha Simeriey. And here's the test for that. How do you know you are doing it right? Say, man, tan, nirmal hoye. Your mind-body system will automatically start evolving to the higher states of consciousness. If that has not happened, then Sacha Simeriey hoya nahi. Now, what would be the normal translation of this if you read this line? I mean, look at how we have been completely misled. Mantan Sacha Rasna Sacha Simeriey Mantan Nirmal hoye. Tu सच नु कर तेरा मन भी सच्चा हो जू ते तेरा तन भी सच्चा हो जू है ना? And then we wonder, wait a minute, I am doing it already. How come neither my mind is at peace nor my body is at peace? What is going on here? Is the body really सारी कपाई ने?
Rasna, I thought was Rasna.
But that was not what he was saying. We just did not read it correctly. We just did not interpret it correctly. Yes, Sacha.
Pick a symbol. You said pick a symbol, not too much loaded with information, this and that and that. So now, Mantan Nirmal, that part I understand, but that symbol, I am stuck on that symbol now. So if we don't have to, what we shouldn't pick, I understood. So now symbol, what do you mean by symbol?
What I'm saying that if you're going to pick a word for your meditation.
Okay, got you.
Okay. So if you are going to say Jai Hanumanji, nothing wrong with that. The problem is that there is a story behind it.
Got you.
And it's going to take you there. So pick a word which is not already trapped into mythology.
Very clear.
It is directly points to remind you of that. Now that could be Om and that could be Vaheguru and that could be anything. So long it's pointing out directly to the ultimate keda Sacha Sirjanhar. The gal ho rahi hai. All other words are, if I was to ask any seeker, researcher, no matter how evolved that person is, prove to me that such and such a thing actually happened, or such and such a deity actually exists or existed. Is it possible? Pick one. 33 crore devi devta ne Hindustan de vich. Pick one and say, we can prove that this thing actually happened. Here's the proof of it. Because you will come to the stage where say, these are the creations of some brilliant human mind. Even today, we see there is a biography, there is an autobiography, and then there is a fiction. People write stories, imaginary stories. And I can take any story and say, this is what happened. Because story fits into one event, and it makes sense. That's why Gurbani warns. At least you can say, I know there is a higher energy than everything that is around me. At least you can have a complete faith in that existence, that something higher than everything exists. I don't need to prove it. I don't need to doubt it. But if I pick any deity, whether it is a Devi or a Devata or a Brahma or a Vishnu or a Mahesh or whatever names I choose, and if my own child says, prove to me that it really did happen. Well, it's written in that book. How do you know that book is true? Right?
Then how do we know if this is true?
Same thing. It is true by its logic. It is giving you its reasoning that what I am saying to you, that if you did this, here is the risk of this. Now, if you can negate that logic, right? To Kabir, Ram always meant the one who's the creator. His mind never went to the son of Dasarath and the husband of Sita. Even though the word was the same. He always says, Ramaya ke gun chet parani. Jo ramya hoya, the one which jisnu asi kan kan mein kehne hain. So, if you are to argue, has Ram ever happened? He'll say, Mera Ram hai. I don't know about yours. But Mera Ram te hai. Mine exists. Yours I cannot say anything about. It could be a story. It might have happened. But even if it did happen, I am not interested in the story. I want to get there. That's the strength of this. We were just sitting down and talking with Prathama and Perry there in their home, and we were basically saying that when we look at the various scriptures that are available today for the human consciousness, you can find metaphysical and mystical literature in Vedas, in Gita, but if you go to Bible, if you go to Quran, if you go to their Torahs, they're all stories. This one happened, and then his son did this, and his wife did that, and his daughter did that, and God spoke to so and so. Those are the stories. And the whole system is based on the stories. So if somebody challenges you about the story, what are you going to do? Guru Granth does not tell a story. It doesn't name a name. It is a spiritual journey of 250 years. In that duration and prior to that duration, starting from the 12th century all the way to the 17th century, whosoever achieved something of that level was brought in, and his words are documented there. That's it. Experience, the process, the difficulties, no stories to be told. Guru Nanak di life history ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. Guru Nanak ਦੀ journey ਹੈ spiritual journey. ਸਿਖਾਣੇ ਬਾਅਦ physical journey ਲਿਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ.
Is that why no parents or anything is ever mentioned?
Exactly. There is no lineage of anybody anywhere. There is no name. If their story is used, it's used as a metaphor to learn from it. That's it. Even those mythological stories that are accepted. Say for example, I give you Sanak sanant ant nahi paya, ved pade pad brahme janma gavaya. Sanak te Sanat, Brahma de do putra, te Brahma aap. For more than 1,000 years, 2 generations devoted that life toward understanding the nature and documented it. That's what Vedas is. 4 Vedas touches every branch of the creation, every science of the creation. And Gurbani says that is how the Indian consciousness remembers that particular name. Keda Brahma, Sanat, Tesanat. And then it says, okay, fine. They devoted a life to understand the nature. But did they become part of him? Did they achieve that ultimate state of evolution or not? There is no mention of that. There is a mention of as to how many life forms under the sea, how many in the air, how many on the ground, how many planets, how many, and they have gone, basically that research. Why? Because the supposition was that if we can know the entire nature, then by deduction we know the creator. And at the end of what happened? When Brahma was questioned, have you found everything? Neti, 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 ebhi nahi, ebhi nahi, ebhi nahi. So had he done that on the day 1, then he would have become one with one. So Gurbani says, don't you think it's a waste of life? An opportunity given, totally wasted? Ved pade par Brahma janam gavaya. Don't you think it's a waste of life to just keep on studying the nature, keep on collecting the gyan after gyan, information after information? Is that the purpose of the human body? To collect information? The machines have recorded all the information. Today we can put into the computer all the information that we need. Why bother the brain? That's the outlook of Gurbani about Brahma. Now, in Indian psyche, Brahma still is a god. He is still worshipped. Gurbani doesn't accept him as it. जय सिया राम की धुन आज भी हिंदुस्तान में गाई जाती है ढोलकियों छाने से. And what does Gurbani say about that? रोवे राम निकाला भया सीता लक्ष्मण बिछड़ गया. कहते भगवान की गल है जेड़ा अपनी जनानी चली गई भरा जरा बैठा रोन दिया. उसकी तो अपना मोह ही नहीं मरिया अजे तक. उसकी तो अटैचमेंट ही नहीं गई. उन्होंने भगवान कहते हो तुसी? जेड़ा असली भगवान है उन्होंने अटैचमेंट है कोई? How did you turn this son of a king into a god? Now, Gurbani is asking you to ask honest questions. It's not trying to criticize you. It's not trying to hurt your feelings or emotions and saying that I am challenging your belief system. That's not the case. It is saying that when you get stuck on these kind of things, your soul's journey suffers. Hence, the continuous emphasis. If you're going to pick a word, वो सच्चे दे नाल connected होना चाहिए. There's no story here. Now, the question is, well, how do we know it's true? Well, Gurbani will say, well, then look at all the people who are in it. Every one of them is telling you that it is true. Now, you can say, I don't believe any one of them. Then this Granth is not for you. It's not going to help you to evolve. Then you need to find another one. That may not be your method. That may not be your process. That may not be your journey. It may not be your destiny. Which is perfectly okay. Gurbani makes no judgment of it. Because it starts with, first you have to become what? कितों गल शुरू हुई सी जे दास बन गया जे दास नहीं बनया, जेड़ा दास नहीं बनया वही ये सवाल कर सकता है, जेड़ा दास बन गया सवाल नहीं कर सकता। सलाम जवाब दोवें करे, मुड्डों को था जाए। If you still have a doubt and you are going to question, then your foundation itself is wrong. You're not going to be able to build anything on it. Go seek somewhere else. This isn't your path. This isn't your process. That doesn't mean you're wrong. There's no judgment here. Because you have total freedom of choice. You choose. Buddha didn't choose it, right? He was purely on a Gyan Marg. He was not on a Bhakti Marg. But Freed did not follow anything that Buddha did. He followed the path of love. Bhakti Marg. No Gyan there. So, Gurbani brings us, it says, रसना सच्चा सिमरिए, तू सच्चा सिमर रहे हैं वो दिन की निशानी है, मन तन निर्मल होए. Continue doing that, continue on that path, continue on that process till your mind body system starts evolving in that direction. And मात पिता साक अगले तिस बिन अवर ना कोई. The illusion that you are living, that these are my relationships, चाहे वो माँ बाप देने, तियां पुत्रां देने, husband wife देने, these are illusionary states. They are not the real one. The real relationship is there, not here. This is temporary arrangement. समझौता कीता है. I am using your body, you are using mine. I am using your space, you are using mine. That's basically it. It is a consensual agreement. It is not a reality. The reality is up there. So don't get focused on this. Mehir kare je apni chasana visare soe. If you are looking for any grace, any prasad, that is the prasad. Keda chasana visare soe. Even a fraction of a moment, chasa. Visve chasya, kadiyan para the tivari ma. Chasa is a measure of time. Even a fraction of a second. That is the true grace. That's the true prasad. If you are going to do any prayer, if you are going to do any ardas, then go look for this meher. जी उसकी ये मेहर हो गई, की होएगा? It will become part of your breathing process. फिर सवेरे उठ के मुंह वाहेगुरु निकलेगा बजाय चादा पानी रखे है कि नहीं? Have you ever noticed? When we get up, what's the first thought?
Chai.
No.
Tea.
Coffee.
Orange juice.
Orange.
You get used to it now.
Breakfast.
He does what you are asking.
Well, good for him. Good journey.
That's true. Once you start that, आप उठोगे तो उठते ही आपको नाम चलता आएगा, जो भी आप लेते हैं.
अगर सोने से पहले वो नाम को सामने रख के सो गए तो सुबह याद आ जाएगा.
उठते ही आपको लगेगा कि आप नाम लेते जा रहे हो, हर श्वास में लेते जा रहे हो.
I mean, there are people who are on that path, and there's no question about it. The earth has never been without it, and will never be without it. नहीं जी, पहला जरा नहा धो लिए, ब्रश ब्रश कर लिए, चाय पानी पी लिए, फिर बैठ के पाठ करने हैं.
Okay. From childhood, भगवान का नाम शावर के बाद लेते थे, नहाने के बाद. ठीक है, आदत हो गई. सोते समय लेने का, सोते समय और फिर सुबह नहाने के बाद.
अगर नहाने से पहले लेते तो क्या होता?
No, we were trained that way.
I understand that. But now, remember what I said. The survival of the organism was controlled by the parents and the society. As the organism has matured, now it needs to remember. See the word? Remember. उसका member फिर बढ़ना है, जुड़ना है उसके नाम. Otherwise क्या हो रहा है? Miss the understanding.
Beautifully put.
We are missing continuously. Okay, my mother told me, son, get up, go take a shower. Because why? Because I, as a kid, was a lazy kid. पानी गिला लगता सी.
Still killer.
ठंडा लगता सी. So the mother's focus was put the child to the shower, to the bathtub, to whatever we had. So परमात्मा का ना ओ ले रही सी, ना बच्चा ले रहा सी. जो ले रही सी ते बच्चे नू दस नहीं सी रही. Okay, no, you're not a kid anymore. Reprogram.
Yeah, first you
Because
have to
that programming was utilitarian for that time and space. And if you refuse to reprogram yourself, then this only becomes pure intellectual exercise and gets you nowhere. I, as a entity, made a conscientious choice that I am going to reprogram myself. When she looks at me and says, well, 3 days ago you were doing this and today you are doing that, why? And I say, I have made this choice. Well, I don't like that choice. Okay, fine. Now, either I have to be ready to pay that price and accept her unhappiness of my choice, because majority would want you to be part of it. यार दोस्त इकट्ठे हुए ने मिले यार आओ खाओ पिए ना. What is this nonsense, right? So you see an army marching. Does the colonel also march along with the army? Is he one of those who are carrying the gun? No, he's not.
Stands on the side and watches.
He has to be walking alone. He can't walk with them. So if you're going to choose to become a colonel, it is absolutely the nature of the beast that you will be walking alone. You got to accept it. If you change your model, then those who want to stay in this, they will be this way, you will be that way. And that's why it is a freedom of choice. To expect or to complain कि मैं चंगा ही काम कर रहे हैं, रब दा नाम ले रहे हैं, फिर मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ आउटकास्ट ਮੈਨੂੰ क्यों करते हो, is the wrong expectation. If anything, it becomes sympathetic. I understand why you are saying, why are you doing, because you have not yet seen that. What? भूला. वो जड़ा मैसेज जड़ा आप पहला गल करें भूला मार मैनू गल याद आ गई है, तेरे मुझे याद नहीं आई. My dream has been broken. Your dream, you are still dreaming. That's okay. If you are refusing to wake up from that dream, and I sit and judgment of you because you are not waking up, then I'm definitely not any better than you are. वो तो ego develop हो गई, which is a trap. अरे मैंने चंगा काम कर रहे हैं, नाम जप रहे हैं. So I remember in our neighborhood somebody, even in New York, it used to happen to me. Somebody will get up early in the morning and pick up the phone and dial my number and say, "Jaswant Singh, आजा, आप मैंने आके शब्द सुना." And his wife will get angry. Why are you waking him up? मैं की माड़ी गल कह रहे हैं, कीर्तन करने लिए तो बुला रहे हैं, और कोई मैं उन्होंने शराब पी ली थोड़ी बुला रहे हैं. You get trapped in your own, and that is an egocentric approach to spirituality. Hey, I have become holy, so what's wrong with you? Why don't you look at me as holy? It has created more problems than solved. Because what has happened is, you have only changed the toy. The game remains the same. So it is not ironic. It is not sad. It is not that the society condemns you. As a matter of fact, if they didn't, there's something wrong. You have to be ready for that condemnation. You have to start with that process. And Gurbani said, Bhakta te sansariya jod kade na aaya. Why? Bhakta ki chaal nirali. Chala nirali bhakta keri bikham maar vichalana. It's a tough path to walk. Why? Because it is a separate path than the mass, than the majority. And it has to be acknowledged, accepted, without judgment, without complaint. It has to be taken in. So, मात पिता साख अगले तिस बिन अवर न कोए मेहर करे जे आपने चसा न विसरे सोए. If you want any blessing from him, then ask for this. Give me the energy and the strength that I never ever forget you again. Nothing should ever divert me from it. Nothing should ever take me away from the thought. My mind-body system may be doing anything, but my consciousness, surti, should stay with you. Okay. Man mere, Sacha sev jijjar saas. So, that is the process. As long as you are breathing in this body form, stay with that one single thought. Why? Because bin sache sab kood hai ante hoye vinas. Everything else is destructive. It will someday be destroyed. Someday it will be killed. इसका नाश होगा. जो नाशवान है उसके साथ लगाव पैदा करने का कुछ फायदा नहीं. I was watching a comedy where a son gives a gift to father of a fish tank. On his birthday. After a couple of days, the fish dies. Now the father is mad at the son and says, "Don't you ever give me that kind of a gift." The fish is dead. So it's all right, we'll buy that other fish. No, I don't want. So his wife says, "Don't you understand what you're doing to him? He's associating fish's death with his own death. He's old. You keep bringing the fish to his mind, and don't you understand what you're doing? He doesn't want to be reminded of his mortality. He hasn't yet come to terms with it." Everything that is there, everything, no exception, the planets and the oceans and the hills that we think have such a long life, they don't. Not on the scale of the time. We are measuring the scale by our own lifespan of thousands of years. But on the cosmic scale, that's a refraction. These planets will be destroyed because they were built. They have a cycle, they have a life. So, what is the message? Well, start pulling yourself away from those which are destructible and reprogram yourself to get attached to the one which is not indestructible. Why? Na o mare, na hove so there will never be a mourning period for him. Everything else will be mourned upon. So, bin sache sab kood hai. Ante hoye binash. That is the ultimate destiny of no matter where you attach yourself. Sahib mera nirmala tis bin reh na jaye, mere man tan pukh at agli koi aan milave maaye. This is a very misunderstood and misinterpreted line. Let's spend a couple of minutes on it. Sahib mera nirmala. The ultimate creator is the purest of all. And without its support, nothing can sustain itself. Okay. No human body can exist, no animal can exist, no earth can exist, nothing can exist. Because that is the life energy. So, mere man tan pukh at agli. Agli means the beyond. That real hunger, real desire to become part of that. Koi aan milave mai. This is interpreted as कि मैनू कोई आके मिला देवे. That's not what it's saying. Because that puts the responsibility on somebody else. That's not the right translation of this. Koi aan milave mai. Some rare, koi. A rare one is the one who does this. जेड़ा उसके नाल अपने आप ਨੂੰ मिलांदा है. कोई ये काम करता है. इन्हें कहने ना इस हक का काम नहीं है. कोई आके अपने आप ਨੂੰ परमात्मा नाल जोड़दा है. नहीं तो सारे माया नाल ही जुड़े हुए हैं. कोई आन मिलावे ना है. कोई जन हर स्यों देवै जोर. तो ਉਹਦੀ ट्रांसलेशन की करते हैं. कोई आके मैनू कोई आन मिलावे मेरा प्रीतम प्यारा हाँ तिस पे आन विचाए. मैनू कोई मिला दे मैं अपना आप उन्हें बेचने ਲਈ ਤਿਆਰ ਹਾਂ. ਇਹ ट्रांसलेशन कर ਉਹ नहीं ਪੋੜਿਓ. गुरबाणी कह रही है कोई आन मिलावे मेरा प्रीतम प्यारा. There is a rare entity that comes here who actually makes the effort and meets him. और वो की करता है हाँ तिस पे आप विचाई. वो अपना हंकार वो पैरों से बेच देता सारा. कोई जन हर स्यों देवे जोर. चरण गाहो बको सुबरसना दीजै प्राण को. कोई आन के अपने आप ਨੂੰ ਉਥੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਦਾ ਹੈ. ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਚਰਨ ਗਾਹੋ ਸਰੈਂਡਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ. ਬਕੋ ਸੁਬਰਸਨਾ उसका नाम बोलता है. दीजे प्राण आकोर अपने प्राणा की आहुति दे देता है. तां किते जाके उन्होंने मिलावा होता है. वही गल इत्थे कही जा रही है. कोई आन मिलावे माए. इस माया दे विचों इस दुनिया दे विचों कोई ऐसा निकलदा है जिहड़ा कि ये गल एक्सेप्ट करदा है that no price is big enough for this. No condemnations, no judgment, no hatred, nothing is. People were skinned alive just to test that. History is proof of that. Sarmad was literally skinned alive. Nashtar laake jeene di chamdi ukhaadni shuru kar deti. Stop saying that what you're saying, that you have become one with Allah. That's blasphemy. Quran doesn't allow it. चमड़ी फाड़ी हो सच का की करा. Mind boggling state. He doesn't change. They come, they start chopping his limbs. And he's laughing. Why are you laughing? Can Allah thinks he can hide from me by putting a little mask on his face. जवाब है, right? उसने अपना चेहरा कवर किया है ना. The person who's actually doing the execution, he cannot face him, so he covers his face. And Sarmad is laughing. Oh God, putting this veil is going to hide you from me. आज जिस दे रूप में आए हैं, I can see through you. And people can, एक कैसा पागलपन है. The world is crying and he's laughing. You have to be able to get to that state of mind. That's reprogramming. Deprogram the old one, reprogram the new one. Very valuable words. मेरे मन तन भुख अत अगली कोई आन मिलावे माए चारे कुंडा भालियां साहबिन अवर न जाए. Here is the proof. He says, well, fine. If you think that there is no truth in it, then chare kunda. All four directions of the creation, go look around and see if you find something else. So those who have gone, they haven't found anything, just one. That's the experience of those who tried it. Chare kunda paliya. Four dimensions of the creation were sought through. Getting a little warm, isn't it? Sahabin avar na jaye. So, then what should be done? Gurbani is bringing you back and say, तेसे आगे अरदास कर जो मेले करतार. और अरदासा ना करे कर जी. ਬੱਚੇ ਦੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਉਮਰ ਹੋਵੇ.
ਅਰਦਾਸ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਰਸਨਾ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਮਨ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ?
ਆਪਣਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ.
ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਨੀ.
ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ.
So mentally you reach the level that you are.
It automatically
you are
comes.
wishing for.
You, बुद्धा क्या करता था? You don't pray. You become a prayer. See, you become a prayer. You don't pray. अरदास कीती नहीं जाती, अरदास उठदी है, अंदरों जागदी है. But केड़ी? ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਲੰਬੀ ਉਮਰ ਹੋਵੇ, ਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਾਪ ਦਾ ਵਫਾਦਾਰ ਹੋਵੇ, ਕੌਮ ਦੀ ਦੇਸ਼ ਕੌਮ ਦੀ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰੇ, ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੇ. ਇਹ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ? ਇਹ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰ. ਕਿਹੜੀ? ਤਿਸ ਆਗੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰ ਜੋ ਮੇਲੇ ਕਰਤਾ. ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਣ ਦੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰ. ਬਸ. No other kind of prayer. No other kind of demand. सतगुर दाता नाम का पूरा जिस भंडार सदा सदा सलाहिए अंत न पारावा. You are being guided to be in touch with केड़ा? सतगुर दाता नाम का. So Gurbani keeps on hammering the same thoughts. कहते सच्चा प्रबल, कहते सृजनहार है, कहते सच्चा कह रहे हैं, कहते पालन वाला कह रहे हैं. It keeps on bringing you the same thought. Get attached to that one. Sada salah salah yusru antana parawa. The one who has no boundary, no end. Parvartgar salah ye ऐसे होने परवरदिगार आगे जड़ा पाल रहे हैं, जिसके चलत अनेक सदा सदा आराधिये इहा मत वसेक मन तन मिठा तिस लगे जिस मस्तक नानक लेख. Get attached with the one, keda Parvartgar, the one who is sustaining all of them, jis de charatanek, whose has become from one to many. Sada sada aradhiye eha mat visek asli vishesh asli changi akal kedi hai? The one who has understood this and is implementing it. And if it is implementing it, ਤਾਂ ਸਮਝ ਲੈ ਕਿ ਉਸਦੀ ਅਸਲੀ ਤਕਦੀਰ ਚੰਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਉਸਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਮਿਲਿਆ. ਮਨ ਤਨ ਮਿੱਠਾ ਤਿਸ ਲਗੇ ਜਿਸ ਮਸਤਕ ਨਾਨਕ ਲੇਖ. Consider him to be the or her to be blessed one, because they have gotten this message. So If that message becomes part of you, what will happen? Now that condition is going to be described. Santa Jano Mil Bhayo Sacha Naam Samar. This is where we started from. We said, once you get on that path and you get together with each other, ਭੈਣਾਂ ਭਰਾ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਰਲ ਕੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਿਹਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ? ਸੱਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਸਮਾਰ. That's the only thing. ਸੁਣਾਓ ਜੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਵੀਂ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਦੱਸੋ, ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀ. ਰਿਟਾਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਪਲਾਨਿੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਸ੍ਰੀਨਗਰ, ਫਿਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੱਲ ਬਣਨੀ. ਉੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਤੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੱਥ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਧੰਨੇ 'ਚ ਪਈ ਆ, ਆ ਬੈਠ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠ, ਆ ਦੋ ਜਪੀਏ, ਆਤਮਾ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰੀਏ. That would be it. संत जनों मिल भाइयों, मिलो सारे, बैठो. ये नहीं कि भाई दुनिया को छड़ के पा जाना है. Nobody is asking you to run away from here. Do get together, but for what purpose? सच्चा नाम समा. उसकी याद में बैठने दे लई. तोसा बंधो जिया का ऐथे उठे. क्या खूबसूरत है. ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ ਆਓ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਦਾ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਐਵੇਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਖਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਚੱਕਰ? ਤੋਸਾ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਖਾਣਾ. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਢਿੱਡ ਦੇ ਖਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਤੋਸਾ ਬੰਦੋ ਜੀ ਦਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਆਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਕਦੋਂ ਦੇਗਾ?
Not to worry about stomach, but to worry about
the inner being. ਤੋਸਾ ਬੰਦੋ ਜੀ ਦਾ. Athe, Uthena, that food is not only for this, but it's for the beyond also. Go collect that. गुर पूरे ते पाइए अपनी नदर निहाल, कर्म प्राप्त तिस होवे जिसनु होए दया. Understand, that is the real grace, that's the real nadar, that's the real prasad. उसदे कोलों वो किधर तो मिलता है? गुर पूरे थे पाइए. The one who actually has gone there. Only it is possible from there. Otherwise they will all be selling the pseudo coin. कच्चा सौदा ही करेंगे सारे, झूठ बोलेंगे, अपने मगर लगाएंगे. They will not be, because they themselves have not gone there. So they don't know the taste. How they can tell you? Why don't the people talk about it when you go to listen to all these things? Why don't they talk about that level of existence? They have no clue themselves. So what do they know? Sacha bolo, meetha bolo, चोरी मत करो, किसी से धोखा मत करो. That's all they know. But that's not. Everybody says if you don't do that, let's say that that's a nice thing, good thing to do. You are still trapped in the same human body. You are just living like a good human. No, you need to go beyond the human. Gurpure te paiye. This will only come from that who has been there. And apani nadar nehal. His grace and the true knowledge will help you to understand that karam parapat this hove jisnu hoye dayal. Karam is usdi karamat, usdi meher. Usnu mildi hai jis de utte ਉਹਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. And consider that. So if you are going to ask for anything, ask for that kripa. You want to pray for something, then pray for that kripa. मेरे मन गुर जेवड़ अवर ना कोए, दूजा थाओ ना को सूजे, गुर मेले सच सोए. Why is it so significant to only listen to the one who been there? Because दूजा थाओ को ना सूजे, गुर मेले सच सोए. That's the definition of the true guru. What? He's not going to ask you to follow me. He's going to ask you, see, he's there. I went there, you can go there too. That's the definition. That's the nishani ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਸਦੀ ਸਗਲ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਤਿਸ ਮਿਲੇ ਜਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਡਿਠਾ ਜਾਏ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨੀ ਜਿਨ ਮਨ ਲਗਾ ਸੇ ਬੜ ਭਾਗੀ ਮਾਏ. Now, see, these lines are always exploited by the people who are interested in the money. How would they translate? ਸਗਲ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਤਿਸ ਮਿਲੇ ਜਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਡਿਠਾ ਜਾਏ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ. ਵੇਖੋ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ, ਲਿਖਿਆ ਤੇ ਸਗਲ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਤਿਸ ਮਿਲੇ ਜਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਡਿਠਾ ਜਾਏ. ਸੋ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕੋ, ਤੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਓ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏਗਾ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਡਿਠਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ. The word ditha means not to see somebody outside. The word is dekhna ya vekhna. Dithna is the inner glow, to see it within you, to experientially get something. What does that mean then? Sagal padarth tis mile jin gur ditha jaye. Those who have been able to achieve that level of consciousness where they are seeing themselves within, everything else is included in it. Because they have achieved the higher state. Everything else is below it. It's already included in it. The path that is shown is not out of intellectual experience.
Correct.
It is from experiential experience.
Okay.
So when they are saying to you, because they have themselves achieved that state of consciousness, they would not let you compromise anything lower. They won't say कि चल जी यार आ कुड़िए तू बंदा लभदी फिरदे तेरा ब्याह करवा देना. He wouldn't say that. He would say forget about that. Enough is. You already seen it. ਜਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਦੀ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਛੁਟਕਾਰਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਹੀ ਨਾ. He will not encourage you to get bondage in the physical life. He will always encourage you. Why you want this? Haven't you seen enough? Get there. Devote this time now, freedom, the energy, the space. Use that for that revolution. Forget about this. दूजा थाओ को ना सूझे गुर मेले सा सोए सगल पदार्थ तिस मिले जिन गुर डिठा जाए गुर चरणी जिन मन लगा से बड़ भागी माए. That is the true blessed one. बड़ भागी, बड़े भाग किसके हैं? गुर चरणी जिन मन लगा. Those who have now focused on the true message, gur mean here the true message. They are the lucky one. Gur data samrath gur, gur sab mein raya samay. So who's the gur here? Watch the language here. See, they would not tell you because the traditional thought is guru is somebody in a human body form. In Gurbani there is no human body form guru. Look at the definition. Gur data समरथ गुर, गुर सब में है रहा समाए. जेड़ा शरीर गुरु है, गुरु है सारा किस नाल समा जाएगा? सारे में समाया होया कौन है? Who's that? Exactly. Sikhism does not have any place for the physical body, no matter what title you give it. Why? Because it's an ashwan. It's something that transitory. Sikhism focus on the one that is absolutely not changing forever. Aad such, jugad such, hai bhi such, nanak hosi bhi such. The total focus was, is, shall be. It's on that. So that is the real good. गुर परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म गुर डुबदा लय तो है. सो कौन है गुर? आगे खुलासा करता. गुर कौन है? परमेश्वर. गुर परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म. Use any word you want to. Guru Dubda Lay Tarai. The one who can help you to transcend this life cycle, that is the one. And focus on that. Kitmukh Gursala ye karan karan samrat se mathe nihchal rahe jin gur dharya hat. So that tongue, that mouth, those lips who are now busy in remembering and repeating the name of who? Karna Karana Samarat. The one who is capable of doing everything. Semathe nature rahe. Those are the true bodies form. Mathe means the intellect. Ohan jin gur dharya ha. Those who have accepted that ultimate energy as a part of their existence. अपने हाथ च पकड़ लिया उन्होंने. Not the other way around. कि उन्हें नहीं ओदे पकड़ की गल नहीं की जा रही. इंसान दे ओनू पकड़ की गल की जा रही. Because the responsibility of evolution is not on him, it's on you. You have to do it. गुरु अमृत नाम पे आ लिया जन्म मरण का पथ. So the real prasad comes from Keda Amritana. It comes from him. And what does it do? Janama Marana Kapat. The cycle of life and death finishes. Gur Parmeshwar Sevya Bhai Bhanjan Dukhalat. So, if any entity, any human being gets on that path, Gur Parmeshwar Sevya. Sevya, the word matlab seva nahi. It comes from Simeriey. To remember, to chant, to meditate. Then Bhai Bhanjan. Kada Dukkha. What is the Dukkha? The being coming through the cycle of life and death. Passing through the birth canal is the highest punishment that can be rendered to the human body form. So that we don't focus on it, what do we focus on? Have you ever thought of it? When the child is being born, what are we focusing on? Labor pain of the mother. Does anybody talk about what's happening to this tiny little body that's passing through that birth passage? Every cell is being squeezed as if you are passing something through the roller to get the oil out. Is it not? Does anybody talk about what the real body is actually going through? Maaru badi dard ho rahi. But it is the child that is being squeezed through the narrow passage. That's the highest punishment to the human body. Because no cell is spared. Science has calculated the per square inch pressure on the skull of the child when it is trying to push open the pelvic bone. And if you want to read, I think I mentioned that, go read Stan Grof. Stan Grof, holotropic breathing, perinatal and perinatal matrices. They have actually calculated that if the structure was not circular, oval shape in this form, the skull will get crushed under the pressure. The contraction pulling it and the pelvic bone forcing it back, and the child's skull has to do the job of actually opening it. And that these things are not in our consciousness. We think, क्या बातें कर रही है? ये कोई बात करने वाली है? And Gurbani is pointing out, oh come on, you don't want to repeat this again. Have you forgotten what you went through? याद कर, वो भूले याद वापस ले आ. And then he कर गुर परमेश्वर सेवया. उधर की होएगा भय भंजन दुखलत. You will get rid of that. सतगुर गहर गंभीर है, सुख साजर अगखंड, जिन गुरु सेवे अपना जमदूत न लागे डन. ये यमा की बात नहीं हो रही. जमदूत का मतलब है पैसेज ऑफ टाइम. टाइम, काल. वो काल तो जमदूत बन गया. काल meant the time. काल didn't mean तो यो के यम वो कहानियां बनी हुई हैं mythology के. It's not mythological. It's basically talking about जिन गुरु सेवे अपना जमदूत न लगे डन. They free themselves from the ravages of time, the bondage of time and space, the punishment, dand, saza. That saza is what saza? You will come back to the mother's womb. You will have to stay suspended upside down for 9-10 months. You will have to pass again through the birth canal, and you will have to go through the ravages of suffering and growing up and doing all those things again. That's a punishment. You will free yourself from that time space if you get on that path. गुरु नाल तुल न लग गई, खोज डिठा ब्रह्मंड, नाम निधान सतगुरु दिया, सुख नानक मन महमन. Guru, that's why there is absolutely nothing comparable to it. No saint, no sadhu, no religion can actually tell you this. You can walk around the entire earth. गुरु नाल तुल न लग गई, खोज डिठा ब्रह्मंड. You will not get this clarity, you will not get this message, because they will all put you in touch with the outer world. You get this message only from the true Guru, which is his grace, which is his blessing, that he makes the possibility of getting that message to you. It doesn't matter how he gets it, he will get that message to you. Jin Guru se naam nidhan satguru diya, and that would happen. That is the only prasad it can give. Nidhan literally means khazana. You will get this. What? Na. That word. Kithun aayega wo? From that Sadguru, from his grace. And when that happens, then Sukh Nanak Man Mehman, then that becomes the true Sat Chit Anand state, the ultimate blissfulness. So, despite my best effort, we still could only cover 2. Yeah, so we will stop at 90. We'll meet again in 2 weeks and continue the journey to the 91. Thank you all for coming.